Hi, everybody.
Hi, Carrie.
I was going to say everyone, and then it morphed into everybody. I hope it didn't sound.
That's a great story. Thank you for starting.
Welcome to the Weird World podcast. My name is Carrie.
I'm
What?
Dean.
What?
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm Jack.
And I'm not going to narrate my inner thoughts throughout the entire thing like Carrie is apparently going to. Go ahead.
Oh, those aren't my inner thoughts.
Oh, oof, that sounded threatening.
You don't want to hear my inner thoughts. So today, Dean is going to use his outer thoughts to tell us about a weird story or something.
It's a pretty weird story. It's actually this is one of those stories that in the biz,
It's a pretty weird story.
it's a pretty weird story. No, but in the weird world, in the supernatural literature, or whatever you want to call it, it's fairly well known. To the layman is out there, no one's ever heard of it. So we'll see who you are. I'm
either a layman or a what? A weird person?
aficionado of the supernatural. Those people have heard of it. If you're not, you probably haven't. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's August 23rd, 1971.
Oh, I already know it.
You do know.
Know it.
Jeez.
Maria Gomez Pereira, and some sources call her Maria Gomez Camara. Don't know why there's a discrepancy, but there is. We'll call her Maria. She lives in the town of Belmez. If you look it up on Google, it should be pronounced Belmez. But I'm not going to do that because it sounds like I'm making fun of them. It's not that close to Barcelona. I'm sorry, Barcelona.
Well,
so
Barcelona
I'm
is not
confused.
the only population that pronounces the S in that manner.
I'm going to anglicize it and call it Belmez.
Belmez.
It's a Z, by the way. Belmez.
But that's sound.
I'm going to do it. So it's in Spain.
Belmez.
It's a little village in Andalusia in southern Spain. It's like 2,000 people, something like that, at least nowadays. So not a big town, rural. So this is like the olive area of Spain. So they grow a lot of the olive trees.
The
okay?
Greece of Spain.
Well, okay. We should probably cut that out.
Why?
I don't know. It just sounded wrong.
What?
Anyway, one day Maria is standing in her home. She's in her kitchen, and she looks down at her floor. Her floor is made of cement. It's a modest little house. She sees a spot, like a discoloration on the floor. It's kind of the stain kind of grows though over the rest of the evening, and it sort of reshapes, or should I say, it sort of takes shape.
Jesus.
She goes to bed. It's a good guess, but
Oh.
and by the next day, she goes back into her kitchen, and Maria is staring down at what would become an event considered by some as one of the best cases for a supernatural phenomenon in modern times. This is the Belmez faces.
Okay,
Oh.
yes.
You guys are both lying.
No,
No,
I've
never
definitely
heard
heard
of
of,
Okay.
the city Belmez.
Okay, well that's
And I'm like, what other things are there about that small little town that I would have heard about it for?
like if you've never heard of Jack the Ripper murders and you say I've heard of London, therefore I know this case. I don't think
what?
that's not gonna
That's
work.
not the
No.
same at all.
But faces, not Virgin Mary.
Faces, exactly.
Okay.
There's going to
Yeah.
be many, many faces, and they don't look like anything specific.
Oh, okay.
Basically, so the story is that overnight on an August day in Spain, a face had miraculously appeared through no apparent effort of anyone on someone's kitchen floor. That's pretty amazing.
What was the floor made out of?
Cement.
Oh, okay.
Not only did the face take shape over time, though, but according to the family, it also shifted its position. So it moved. The face kind of moved on the floor.
According to the family.
According to the family, the Pereiras, let's call them. Each time they tried to erase the images, even going so far as to dig up the kitchen floor and replace it, the images would come back. They'd appear again.
Huh.
There would be a string of faces, and they could never quite be erased. They would change and disappear, but through no agency of people. If you scrubbed them, they came back. Then, or they wouldn't disappear at all. Then what they found under the floor would only deepen the mystery of the Belmez faces. That's what we do, a little musical
Dun,
cue.
dun, dun.
There you go. Thank you. So let's first talk about the appearances, the faces themselves. So they were more than just your run-of-the-mill, kind of dark, indistinct blotches, which you might think of.
Yeah.
You know, they were legit faces. They were not, they weren't your standard issue, Jesus on a burrito or Virgin Mary in a window stain kinds of things where anybody who wants to see what they're going to see is going to see it. They were faces.
So they were more detailed and more distinct.
Absolutely. They're reasonably clearly human faces. They were blotchy and a little bit blurry and sometimes indistinct, or sometimes their parts didn't quite look right, but they were clear. You would never look at them and say, that's not a human face. It clearly was.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
now? Did anybody besides the family see them?
Oh, everybody see them.
Okay.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to see these things.
Oh, okay.
After time. No, yeah, the phenomenon was immediately. I mean, like I said, people came over and saw them as faces quite clearly.
You might be overstating it a little bit.
But
No, those are definitely
those
faces.
are clearly faces. Well,
I mean, some
Jack
of
is looking
them.
at some pictures, and we'll have some pictures online and on our website. We'll have the pictures of all we have. There are many, many images
Yeah.
over time. We'll have pictures of at least 6 or 7 or 8. So one of the faces depicts an apparent woman's face. Though some say it's a man. It looks like a woman to me, but I don't know. Regardless, the face has these kind of deep furrows on the side of its slightly open mouth. It has this pinched nose, a big, almost indistinct eyes, and these thick, dark eyebrows. You can't really see any hair, but you do see like sort of blackness on the side of the oval of the face, so that appears to be hair, maybe. I don't know. It's an inexpert painting. For sure, if it was a painting, it's not well done. These are kind of amateurish looking, but remember, these were not done by any human agency. These just suddenly appeared to Maria one day. That makes them pretty goddamn remarkable, if you ask me.
It's like when elephants paint. It doesn't matter that they're just doing scribbles. It's an elephant painting.
With his tusk or his
I'd
tail.
buy it. I'd buy an
Neither.
elephant's painting
What are they painting with?
Their trunk.
and a paintbrush.
Oh, I said tusk, didn't I?
You said
I meant trunk. I meant trunk. That'd be awesome if they could paint that. Just like solder a paintbrush to the elephant's trunk and say, go for it,
that's
Simba.
horrible.
I don't know why I call it
Solder.
Simba. Dumbo.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Dumbo. Paint something, Dumbo.
Hey, yeah.
You're-
Is the character? The lovable Disney character?
You just sound very disrespectful.
You're right. Yeah, I
you
did.
do.
I don't know any other elephant's name. Sorry.
Jumbo was Dumbo's mom.
Was it really?
Or
That also seems a little
No, I
bit
don't think-
not
I don't know
PC.
if Jumbo was the mom.
I think
I
Jumbo
know-
was just another elephant in pop
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah, Jumbo was the elephant, a famous circus elephant.
Mm.
Like, Barnum and Bailey or some bullshit like that.
Okay.
I think. Another of the faces was more clearly male, but the eyes are very asymmetrical. They're one's too high.
Hey, we all got features
Yeah.
like that. We ain't all perfect.
And the mouth is kind of blotched out and indistinct. So these were never, again, check out the website, check out the links. You'll see them. They're not perfect
Yeah.
laser,
They're not like a
lines.
full
Sure.
rendering.
Yeah.
Exactly, full renderings that are very good. They're not great art, but they are clearly human faces. And again, they're there in
Well,
a
that's subjective.
miraculous way. No, they're clearly faces.
I'm sure those. No, I meant the not great art part.
Oh, no, they're not
I'm
great
sure
art.
those spirits were
Yeah.
very proud of their painting.
I suppose. Others are barely there, though. One painting almost looks monkey-like. Almost is a very indistinct shape of a face. You just have the hint of these kind of wide eyes, a little tiny upturned nose. Again, monkeys often have that kind of a nose. Yeah, and a tiny little mouth. Other paintings have more than one person. They have 2 or 3. They look female to me. Another of the paintings seems to be a woman. Or I shouldn't call them paintings. Another of the faces seems to be a woman because you get a sense of very, very long hair falling around her face. But the face is almost skeletal, or maybe even like decomposed flesh. We'll certainly put that one up on our website. The mouth, for instance, almost look like there's visible teeth, and which as if the lips have, I don't know, rotted away, or it could just be a bad drawing. But she is kind of scary, and this is presumably the source of later folks would say these were, the work of the devil or something like that. So at first they're a huge phenomenon. Everybody's excited about it, but eventually some people thought they got scary and kind of evil.
She could have just had thin lips and big teeth.
Good. Yes. Buck teeth. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's a good point.
Killer combo.
Yeah.
Thin lips, big teeth.
Everybody
You never
wants
know.
it. Every
lips.
supermodel's dream. So many of them, though, are reminiscent of that kind of old-timey medieval bad painting. Where
Yes.
the features aren't they're not in
I
proportion.
love those.
The noses,
Yeah.
by the way, seem like those noses in relief or if they're straight on, they're not. It's really hard to paint draw a nose of anything. And these look,
Yes.
if they're in profile, they look like just the classic, the nose that anybody at this table can
Triangle.
probably do. Yeah.
Hey,
Well, almost
Speak for
anybody.
yourself.
Not me.
I got talent.
I couldn't do it. It seems particularly true when there's more than one person in the image. So we'll put a couple up where there's a couple of women. They look almost like that sad face, amateurishly drawn, the way old timey painters kind of depicted monks or nuns and saints. If you've seen those kind of pictures, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They have that kind of appearance to
that
them.
like forlorn kind of.
And just they don't look. They're not well proportioned. The features didn't have a lot of good artists in the 1300s. Or, they weren't. Come on.
Really?
Things got a lot better at the Renaissance. Let's be honest.
Are you gonna start that bullshit?
I maybe.
Are we gonna do that Eurocentric?
Well,
fuckery?
okay. European painting. Look at European painting in like the 1000s, 1100s, 1200s.
What
was
about
not
it?
good. The people were out of shape, out of proportion. They
What
didn't
I'm
look
gonna
right.
say right now, photorealism is not the be all end all of art, and that's all we're gonna say on that. Next.
Presuming that you're going for realism, though, these weren't well done. And again, they look
Yes.
like those old timey paintings a lot.
Yeah.
I love those though. Like, look at how fucking old time medieval bitches drew lions and like
Yes.
giraffes. Oh my god,
It's a
it
dog with
kills
some
me.
extra fur around the neck.
Yeah,
That's not a
with a
lion,
wig.
guys. And presuming you're seeing a lion when you're drawing that. So come on, you can do better.
Kills me.
So Maria was something of the town psychic, it turns out.
Ooh.
She was often sought out for advice by the more superstitious town folk. But still, despite this, that first face on the floor that she saw, she said that it terrified her.
Well, yeah.
Her initial reaction was fear. Well, really? I mean, if it's psychic,
Mine
to the
would
degree
be
it's psychic
too.
phenomena, and you're comfortable with psychic, and you're a psychic,
Yeah.
I don't know that it should scare you that much.
I don't know.
But that's
Well,
what she said.
unless she has an inkling
I was
where
gonna
it's
say,
coming
yeah.
from.
She might know more.
Yeah, because she's
than we do.
psychic. Yeah, she may be getting some psychic vibrations.
Some vibes, yes.
Some frequencies that
I
we
like
don't
that.
pick up
I
on.
like that, yeah. I like that. What is the frequency, Kenneth? Do you know?
No, we gotta ask Maria.
She doesn't know either.
I'm not a psychic.
Is Maria still alive?
No.
Oh, rest in peace.
I
But-
thought we were gonna interview her.
We can give her, we can give her a call beyond the grave.
Yeah,
So maybe you can channel her.
yeah.
Speak with a Andalusian accent, though. You're going to have to do that and say
that's gonna be
Belmez.
hard.
I could do it.
Okay. So at least that was her story anyway. And she also said that she tried to scrub out the face initially several times, but it just wouldn't go away.
With Fabuloso.
Sure,
What is that?
It's a cleaner.
Yep, she probably used Fabuloso.
that is supposed to work very well.
Is it?
on floors? Yes.
Is it from Spain?
It's just Spanish.
Okay. I'm going to assume she used it in 1971 Spain.
And
Why
they have
not?
a fruit one. I forget what it's called. Fruit
called
something.
fruteria.
And it's literally bright green. And
Only
the
Rachel gets that joke.
container it comes in looks like a juice container.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
So on the package it has to say "Do not drink."
Some of these cleaners be looking
That
a little bit too much
seems-
like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah,
Or it could be delicious. We don't know.
but it's supposed to work really well on floors. I've recently gotten that hint from somebody.
Well, I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
Well, it didn't work on
wasn't
these
to me.
Belmez faces.
No, it did not work. The Fabuloso did not work in the Belmez faces.
It might have because she probably wasn't using Fabulous.
You don't know that. I wish you'd stop attacking her. Her husband, Maria's husband, Juan, he said, you know what? Screw this. He decided he's going to take a more direct and permanent action, he thought.
Jackhammer?
He grabbed his son, Miguel. They got pickaxes.
Oh, shit.
And they went to town on the cement floor. They just started ripping it up. They dug it up. And they removed it completely. They then installed a brand new cement floor. Good thing when your floor is made out of cement because it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not like these tile, a nice tile. That's not cheap.
I would have just covered it with something else.
A
I
carpet,
put
a rug,
nice little
perhaps.
throw rug over it.
But
Yes,
wait, they
yes.
just covered it up with more cement?
No, they tore out the cement where the face was
No,
And
and
put
then
in new
put in a
cement.
new
But
layer
then,
of
like,
cement.
what do they think that would prevent? If it can get through the first cement, what
Yeah.
makes them think it
true.
can't get through the second?
Well, but maybe Juan
Lacquer that shit.
is a little bit less woo-woo
Superstitious.
about it and is thinking
Well, presumably they dug
it's
to
something in the cement.
the dirt, right? So why wouldn't that? I mean, how thick do you think cement is, right? If they dug,
Well,
No, that's what we're saying. If
Yeah.
it's truly psychic phenomenon,
Yeah,
it's going to
of
happen
course.
in the new cement.
Of course.
But that's
Yes.
why I'm saying
maybe Juan wasn't convinced.
correct.
probably not. But but it worked for a week.
Yeah.
And then the face began to reappear.
Same face as the first
Well,
one.
I believe so.
Oh, really?
I'm not
Oh,
positive.
so this
you know, what?
is-
I'm not sure. Nothing I read.
Oh,
I said
yeah.
I'm not doing tenses right anymore. By the way, I did that on purpose. I'm Donald Trump. I meant to say nothing I read.
It's confusing
So
anyway.
nothing I've read has really made it clear. Like it was this face, then this face, then this face, then this face. No, I'm sure that exists, but a lot of the sources, by the way, in Spanish, and I speak little Spanish, so I was not able
Google
to
Translate.
access. Now, I mean, they're like books and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
We just tell you what's what. We're not reading a bunch of books and stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
We're not going to lie to you. So somehow word got out, and most of the stories depict Maria as this sort of hapless, terrified innocent at this point who wants nothing to do with the faces at all, and she's desperately trying to remove them. But again, somehow word got out.
Yep.
And the town found out about it. Turns out the family advertised the phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They called their home Las Casas de las Caras, which means the House of the Faces.
Yep, I know that.
Oh, I care.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well.
Your House of the Faces, I totally knew that.
Use
I
it to
did
your
not.
advantage.
Oh, was that a little accent there?
No.
No. You know what? Let's just go ahead and pretend it was. That was nice. The family began to then charge money for people to come see the psychic miracle for just 10
Yeah.
pesetas. You could come in and see the increasingly famous Belmez faces.
I would too.
By March of 1972, according to the local newspaper Lecturas, the family had made about 250,000 pesetas from charging
Wow.
admission
Damn,
for
I
the
wonder what that
faces.
is.
Yeah.
You know, I tried
Convert it.
to do that, but they use the euro now, and it's very confusing.
Yeah.
It was a decent chunk of change though, especially in rural for a relatively poor family in rural Spain. It was a lot of money. You're not going to be able to do it, Terry. Trust me.
You don't.
Okay, give it a shot. At its apex, the house drew 1,000 tourists a day.
Holy moly!
It was a big deal.
That must be a line down the block. It's like Anne Frank's house.
So a line down the entire village.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Well, yeah,
true.
there weren't that many people in the village.
No,
Were
it
they
was
traveling from far
absolutely,
and wide?
Absolutely,
It was a third of
it
the
was an
village.
international phenomenon.
Wow.
And at this point, though, the mayor and the town council decide, enough's enough. You're turning this into this little tourist mecca here. It's a residential neighborhood. So they decided to ban it. They said you can't charge admission, like it's not zoned for retail. I don't know, but they said you can't do that anymore.
Retail.
So it appears the family continued their business on the sly a little bit, but on a much reduced scale.
These are all
after-
my friends. They're just coming over and they're
I don't know.
chipping in for pizza.
Too bad it's pre-internet. You could just schedule appointments.
Yeah. That's a. Yeah.
And then Venmo,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yep.
Sucks. So remember, Maria was this, possibly anyway, this psychic person, this little psychic palm reader, whatever,
Okay, I
of
was
the
gonna say,
village.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, right? So it's fair to say that this certainly bolstered that image and bolstered that reputation and maybe
Oh,
even
yeah.
bolstered that
Definitely.
kind of a business as well.
Yeah.
I'm being skeptical there, obviously. The images were, some even might say the images were divinely inspired. That couldn't hurt you as a,
In Spain.
in Spain,
Catholic,
as a
yeah.
psychic.
That's why I immediately went to Virgin Mary and Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
None of them were.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Regardless of this motive, though, any possible motive or for her background as a psychic, the faces did kind of become the family business. I mean, they
Yeah.
like I said, did you ever find anything that indicated how much money that is nowadays?
Well,
it would be many thousands
we'd
of
have
dollars
to do
for sure.
some conversions. But
Yeah.
in 1959, 60 pesetas would have been $1
Okay.
US dollar.
Super helpful.
Just do a quick little
I mean-
proportion there.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
going
but
to do
it's
that.
1972 and converting yeah. I did something. I did two conversion steps, and it came out to like almost like $11,700 or something like that in today's money. I feel like it was more than that, though.
Probably either way is a good chunk of change.
Yes, it is. So not only did tourists flock to see the faces, but so did parapsychology researchers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Oh, they were. There was lots of them came over to see this thing. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And this is like, what's going on there? No one can explain it. The case went international and got the attention of a parapsychologist named Hans Bender. He was sort of the father of German parapsychology. And a lot of sources will call him like the renowned or something like the Hans Bender or something like that. I mean, he was he was a very credulous, true believing advocate for parapsychology, so I don't know how it makes him renowned or something.
When I went through my ghost phase as a child, I wanted to be a parapsychologist.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
I think you know what? Live your dream. You can do it now.
I don't want to anymore, but remember when I adopted
My
my
ghost
ghost?
phase.
Jasper,
Oh.
I don't
and
remember
all
that because
kind of stuff?
I didn't know you as a
Well,
child.
but remember that I have told you about this.
Yes, you have. And I
Jasper.
have listened.
And then I wanted to be.
So Hans Bender went to Spain to investigate. Remember, he was kind of a big deal. He took one look at the faces, declared them the most important case of parapsychology of the 20th century.
Wow.
And then flew back to Germany a happy man.
Goodbye.
So a little credulous? Yes, Hans Bender. But he's often cited as like, Hans Bender said they're legit. So case closed.
Well, what did Hans do? Did he
Took
literally just look at them?
I'm sure
Took
he
some pickies.
poked around, and I think he was there. We'll learn here in a second. He was there when they were reopened. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. So
I only have one question.
the village mayor, as I mentioned, wanted to get to the bottom of the mystery. So not only did he ban them from doing the tourist business with there, but he also ordered the concrete of the kitchen to be removed.
Oh,
And again, if we're counting, I think this is the second
time.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we're counting.
If
And
we're
we can
counting.
count as high as 2.
It's not super clear because there's going to be a third one here.
Uh-oh.
And
Start a tally.
he wanted it tested by experts, though. So he took it very seriously.
Who's an expert?
Yeah.
Oh, but there are materials.
Chemists?
Of course, there's chemists and materials experts.
that's
People who
my
are experts
question.
in concrete.
Okay.
things
That's
like
what
that.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask earlier, but I thought it might be jumping your gun a little bit. Like, that sounded weird. Jumping the gun a little bit. Like, what I would have done immediately is like taken some chips of that concrete and
well,
sent them to like chemists and
You
material
need to
scientists,
have
like you
what
said.
the parts where the faces are, right?
Well, of
Exactly.
course.
Well,
That's what you
duh.
did.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
What is the actual discoloration?
Yes, and they're going to do that. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Like what material is actually coloring.
Yeah.
But they tore up the entire cement again, just like Miguel and Juan
Juan.
had done earlier, right? So they tore up and they're going to send the relevant parts, the parts of faces, to experts. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay, good.
they also tore up the entire kitchen cement floor to a depth of 10 feet
Holy
Wait,
moly.
below the
What?
kitchen floor.
That is the definition of toe up from the flow up.
That's
Did
that's
they
weird.
unearth
And what did they unearth?
skeletons?
Oh my God!
Well, come on now.
Well,
Yes, they did.
You're setting up for that.
That's
Skeletons.
true. That's true. They found skeletons, some
Yeah.
of
How many?
which had no skulls.
Wait, how many?
I don't know, but more than one because
It's probably hard to tell.
People
see, that's
say
why they
multiple
want their
skeletons.
heads back.
Oh, I hadn't thought about.
Oh.
The faces. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I
Mama
got it.
just
I missed
solved it.
that in the first one. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I like that. So they didn't have faces, so they wanted their faces to appear on the floor
Yeah.
to say, dig us up and get our faces. Where's our skulls? Find our skulls. They never
Yeah.
found the skulls. Supposedly they took the skeletons to a Catholic cemetery and interred them, but they
Did
never,
they date them?
allegedly they did indeed date them to the 700 years old.
Wow.
So they dated them, sent into a cemetery. So, but that does bring us some questions.
100 years old.
They dated them? How exactly did they date them?
Yeah, radiocarbon dating.
Carbon 14 dating? You're going to go through that expense and trouble? Maybe. They dug 10 feet below the kitchen. Why the hell would they dig 10 feet below the kitchen? It's never explained. It's just said at 10 feet they found these skeletons. What are they trying to do?
Figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they.
That's
I mean,
an
10
immense-
feet is a lot.
That's a huge undertaking.
10 feet is.
Well-
I'm just trying to imagine where they put all that dirt. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge logistical
That's the biggest
undertaking.
question, not the
Where did
skeletons.
Maria cook dinner?
Where did we cook dinner? So, I don't know. It's just, to me, that's a little red flaggy. And also
What,
the
that
classic...
you don't think it really happened?
that it,
or?
it's, yeah,
Or
Oh,
that it might be
okay.
I'm
an
not convinced
exaggeration.
this ever even happened.
Okay.
So
Oh.
that they built 10 feet, they did 10 feet, or there were any skeletons were really found.
They
The
did have
classic
money.
skeletons underneath. Like you said, that's the first thing you guess.
Sure,
That's the
yeah.
first thing
That
anyone
is
would
true.
guess.
Yeah.
That's a little on the nose.
Or is it Occam's razor?
No.
No, it's not at all.
No. So then they filled in this unnecessarily massive hole, and they set up a brand new cement kitchen floor. So, which, by the way, if we're still counting, that's 3 now kitchen floors. But as always, the sources aren't very clear. So they put a new floor in, case closed, right?
Ha.
Nah, this time it took 2 weeks for the faces to return.
Huh.
So new faces come after 2 weeks with this third cement kitchen floor installed, apparently by the city.
Well, if supernatural is correct, they needed to burn the bones. What?
She literally just took the joke right out of my mouth.
Oh.
Where was that? What was that gonna happen?
I was gonna say, honestly, they if they had ever watched Supernatural, one of the 37 seasons of
Oh my
Supernatural,
God,
you gotta
yeah.
burn the bones. You don't just bury them.
It's been going on so long. It might have started back then. Shit.
It was around, I'm assuming. It was like Doctor Who. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. They didn't burn the bones, so the faces are going to come back. That's
also-
case closed. We're done.
What were the faces doing to them that they wanted them gone?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you
Anyway.
not freak out if suddenly there were faces on your
yes, I
tile
would.
kitchen floor?
But
Yes,
if
you would.
nothing else bad
Exactly.
happens,
Retweet.
then-
That's exactly what I was just
Yeah.
gonna say too.
Well, quite
Like-
the opposite. As we know, they made a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
Right?
Exactly.
I
Still,
wouldn't. I'd
well,
be like,
they'll-
you can
remember,
stay here, my little friends.
This
Hi.
time was the mayor ordered that to happen.
Right.
Oh.
They dug up the floor. They put that third floor
That's
in,
true.
and that third floor,
Oh, so they didn't pay for it.
the city paid for that last time.
But so
presumably.
here's the question: why did the mayor care?
He he thought they were
Superstitious.
He thought they were frauds, and he thought they were
Oh,
scamming. He
okay.
they're essentially pulling a fraud on people. It was a scam to make money, which they made a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah,
listen
but
here,
And he
Mr.
essentially
Mayor.
declared it. We'll talk about some testing in a bit, and he declared it a fraud, and he was.
Okay, mayor. The cheaper way to get to the bottom of it is hire somebody else to, I don't know, sandblast it, clean it. You don't have to dig it up.
Yeah,
A- and
I feel like
then-
they're a
Carrie,
sensible
And
option.
then
it-
hire somebody to stay there and monitor it to see the new faces appear. That's what
Well,
I would do.
okay.
Heck of a lot cheaper than digging down 10 feet.
First of
Carrie
all,
for mayor of
First of
Belmez.
all, if Fabuloso is not going to work, I don't see why you think sandblasting is going to work.
Yeah,
and those things
well-
did not work. They scrub. I don't know if they sandblasted, but
Sandblasting would, of course, work.
well, Carrie, they tore it up the first time, and it came right back.
Yeah, if-
I'm not saying it's not going to come back. That's what I said. Sandblast the images off,
Joe,
and then hire somebody to sit there,
just sit there 24/7
and watch
Okay.
it. You can have
or
shifts.
just
Yeah, that's true.
relocate the
That's true.
family for the meat. For
To
like,
see them come back.
Carrie's going for a cheaper way to do it. I don't think that's a cheap way
Yeah.
to do it.
yeah, I guess, but it's funnier.
Over time, eventually, you had this whole menagerie of faces. Like I said, there was many faces came and went. As on
So they
that-
disappear.
They would
Yeah,
they would
on their own
they would
and come-
disappear over time,
and change.
and new ones would take their place over time.
Huh.
Transient, ephemeral faces.
They seem to sort of succeed one another, and like I said, when one faded, something else came and took its place. At times, the face would show over the course of just a few hours, which that like kind of like the first time. It started as a
Yeah.
blotch, but the
Yeah.
next morning it was a full-fledged face.
Interesting.
So let's talk about a girl named Maria there. Maria was the focus of the Belmez faces phenomenon the whole time. She was the first to see them. She was the town psychic. She lived in that house for the decades that the faces were a thing. In the supernatural media, so in the supernatural media are the proponents, the writings of people who believe this and think it's a supernatural phenomenon. Maria is depicted as like just wanting to be rid of the faces, how they scared her, how she tried to destroy them, but they'd come back and she'd try again, and she is portrayed as hating all this attention, right?
Yeah.
So here, a matter of fact, is an extract from a website called historicmysteries.com, which is a website that is clearly on the,
Yes.
anything that's mysterious in history, it happened in Israel.
I'm familiar with it.
Are you? Okay. Quote, from the very beginning, all the Pereiras wanted to do was to rid themselves of the apparitions that had taken over their lives in their town. Now they were forced to endure a new terror.
Dara.
Now they were forced to endure a new terror, the curious. Visitors flocked to the house. All the students, researchers, priests, police officers, journalists, and skeptics all wanted to see for themselves this unexplained phenomenon. That's just, to be nice, that just simply does not square with the clear facts in any way, shape, or form. The family obviously had to be the people that told someone to let the word out in the first place, otherwise no one ever hears about it. Maria had long been this psychic helper. This again, I don't know if she's reading tarot cards and palms, but
Probably
she was
all of
that. Probably so. She had long been an advocate of and a believer in psychic phenomenon. The family charged visitors, as we know, for the pleasure of viewing the faces, and that they maintained this phenomenon on the kitchen floor for the next 30 years. That does
Wow.
not sound like people who are just terrified and wanted it to go
Yeah.
away. And I mean, seriously, endure the new terror of the curious. They were making piles of pesetas from that. That's just a.
Well, until didn't it get stopped? Didn't they make them
It
stop?
did,
Oh,
but
is
they
that
continued.
the terror?
Yeah, they continued, and they did it a little more on the down low, from what I understand.
okay.
The mayor stopping their cash flow. That's the real haunting.
Yeah. And they maintained this kind of small buzz for a couple of decades afterwards. But still, that does not sound like someone who just wanted to get rid of the nuisance. Not at all.
Yeah.
When all they had to do the entire time really was shut the hell up about it. They lived there. No one else needed to be invited in. Don't talk about it anymore, and no one's going to come. You don't have to endure the tourist who you were charging for to see. I mean, that kind of bugs me. When you mischaracterize the subject of this phenomenon you're arguing for, as the true believers, investigator types do constantly, then you hurt your credibility. And that, in my mind, that harms the case of that phenomenon that you believe in. If you have to lie about the nature of the people experiencing the phenomenon to make it sound more realistic, then there's a weakness in your case, obviously. So don't stop doing that. Don't pretend they clearly. You could say, they made lemonade out of lemons, whatever that stupid saying is. So, but don't sit there and pretend that they just wanted to get rid of it and they're scared by it. That's nonsense. And if, to the degree Maria is saying that harms her credibility, because that's just nonsense. So why was this such an amazing thing? I mean, proponents of the Belmez faces often cite that no one ever saw anyone do this, so they just appeared out of thin air, so they must be real. That's cited as sort of like proof, and that's why they're so baffling and so mysterious. And of course, the obvious response to that is,
yikes!
It was a private house. I mean, they could have done anything, anywhere, anytime.
Did you tell us what the results of the mayor's tests were?
No, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Though. So that whole argument that we never caught anyone doing it is stupid.
Dumb, yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
nonsense. It's also nonsense about the family being afraid of the faces, as I just said, and not wanting any attention in any of them, because they profited by it for many, many years.
Yeah.
So that's just not true. It's a better argument, though, that no one could immediately figure out what was causing the faces.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be sniffing it.
We're gonna keep that on tape, Carrie, and just use that as often as we need.
I mean, I would be doing everything I could think of to try to figure out what was literally physically what was going on. I don't know. It's so weird.
When the city did step in, though, right?
Happening.
And they stopped the tourist trade, at least for a time anyway, they covered the cement floor with a sealant.
That's what I was thinking earlier.
And then they used, I guess, like wax seals on the doors and the windows with access to the kitchen. And they sort of closed off the kitchen for 3 months.
Oh my
like the
God.
cement floor under a sealant. So yeah, like you said, where are they cooking?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's maybe not the
hot
most
plate in the living room.
hot plate. Hot plate. A lot of. Well, I guess they can bring their microwave and make some hot pockets. A lot
Went
of
to the
hot
mom's
pockets.
house.
A lot of hot pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to the mom's
Mama
house.
house.
In 1971, rural Spain, they probably had hot pockets. So
Who knows?
this process, by the way, was captured on a German television show.
Oh,
So
shit.
it was already a very big deal early on.
Was it that one guy?
Hans Bender?
No, it was not. I don't
He was
think
German.
anyway. He was, but it wasn't. It was a TV show for some, news magazine show in Germany.
Is it on YouTube?
I don't know.
Let's find it.
I'm going to look.
The kitchen was then, as I mentioned, left in situ for 3 months. Lo and behold, when they unsealed the kitchen, the faces and bodies were still there.
Boom.
But the images had allegedly moved and changed over those 3 months.
Well, I thought that was par for the course with these little faces.
Not so I mean, not all the time now.
Okay.
I mean, they would fade away and reappear. So I guess they would
And change different faces.
Yeah,
right.
that's true. But I guess it was the same faces that were there 3 months ago. They were the same faces, but they sort of migrated a little bit. They sort of moved along the kitchen floor
They're
a
like,
little
"Ooh,
bit
now we're
and
over
changed
here."
a little bit. Yeah, and that often again that's cited. That movement, that evolution of the images is often cited as like, okay, well, there is proof.
Right.
It can't be a painting. They would be static. So one example, by the way, and we'll put it on the website, is a picture of a old man. He looks like an old man. He looks like a long, flowing beard under his chin and the side of his face. He's looking to the left. His picture's in profile. And I've seen the 3 pictures of it, one from 1972 when he first appeared, and the image is fairly crisp. It's not crystal clear, but because they really never were, but it's like the black and white contrast is really good. They're all black and white, by the way.
Yeah.
Just FYI, there's no color. Then 2 years later, a picture taken in 1974 shows a kind of a grayish blur over most of it. Yeah. It's just a little like I don't know if it's faded, but it's faded because it seems like it's discolored over those 2 years. And
Does
it's
it
grayish.
still have the sealant on top of it?
No, the sealant was taken off after 3 months.
It was taken off already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was just initially when they unsealed the
When
kitchen
they
after
were-
3
okay.
months. They saw the pictures and they took the sealant off
Oh,
then.
wow.
So by 2005, that same old man face, which apparently was still there. So at some point, their kitchen must have been covered with faces. But
Yeah.
by 2005, the front of the face and the beard, which is the left hand portion of the portrait, were pretty much gone. They had been erased or had faded away completely, or just eroded away. So that picture did change dramatically over time. But for the most part, it just seems like, at least to my eye, it was sort of just changing in the coloration, and then over time, it was eroding and disappearing and fading.
Yeah. Huh.
So these changes, the non-staticness of the Belmez faces is often cited as proof positive. Why would anyone take changes to mean the image had to be genuine is not clear to me.
I'm not sure either.
Think about it. If it was some kind of a psychic cause, I guess you'd have to argue that's waning over time, right? But if the image is anything else, it could, whatever made that image, dye, pigment, chemicals,
Yeah.
whatever, that could also fade and change over time as well. So, right? So I've never understood why that is considered proof of non-human agency.
Maybe one thing I could think of is maybe if the same image was like perfectly transplanted to another location. But stamps exist.
Yeah.
You can make prints of things. Like, I don't know.
That's true.
That's not.
As far as I know, that never happened.
Oh, so even less so.
No, it's just
never mind.
the picture. Typically, the images would fade, and new images would take their place, or new images would arise in a different part of the floor somewhere, and that would last for a while. And again, this went on for like 30 years.
So the pictures changing and coming and going kept happening?
Yes.
For 30 full years?
Yes.
Damn. Maria.
The more obvious way that many thought the faces were of supernatural origin was those analyses we've kind of alluded to.
Ooh,
right?
yeah, I'm excited.
And that these analyses did not consistently find irrefutable evidence that they were faked or how they were faked.
Yeah.
So as ever, though, this kind of flips science and rational thinking on its head, right? Essentially saying that you can't prove how they were faked, therefore they're real. That's not how it works.
Correct.
That's not
the onus is
logically
on
sound.
you. You have to prove to us how they were done. Of course, they would argue, well, we can't. It was whatever, the hand of God. And we'll talk about what the dominant theory is in a minute. But still, you have to prove your supernatural agency was the causal effect, and no one's even come close to doing that.
The test couldn't prove they were faked. What did the test conclude?
Let's take a look at those investigations, Gary.
Residue.
Please.
Spanish psychical researchers started looking into this almost immediately. And the Ministry of the Interior commissions a study led by Jose Luis Jordan. He was the vice president of the Spanish Society of Parapsychology. Now, you might hear that name and think, well, he's kind of a
Biased,
gullible, biased
Yeah.
person. In actual fact, like the British Society of Parapsychology, it wasn't called that. Psychical Research, I believe. These organizations tended to be, they were very open to it and wanted it to be true, but they tended to adhere to more or less scientific methods and took it very seriously. And they exposed
is
hoaxes
good.
all the time.
Yeah.
That's completely disappeared from that world now.
I agree with them. It would be cool if psychic ghosty
fantastic.
shit was real. I just don't think it is.
But they're really, those organizations that, almost all organizations I'm aware of that look into psychic phenomena are just, they would fit right in on the History Channel or something like that, where they're just knowingly spewing bullshit.
They're Ghost Hunters International.
Yeah, something like that. They're not like, so his group was a serious group. He took it very seriously. He used scientific means, and they investigated the faces, right? And he felt the faces after chemical analysis were an analysis by, I can't remember the names of the groups, but they went to like the Spanish Society for Materials Analysis, something like that. Legit scientific group that specialized in all things structural materials.
Chemistry.
And Jordan felt the faces were caused by one of three things. Quote, pigmentation with a dark brownish substance, or a mixture of soot and vinegar, or the aggressive action of a chemical compound.
What are the compounds?
Eventually, he would land on the latter, the chemical answer.
But which one?
And he claimed he had found the exact chemical compound that had been used to make the faces.
Oh, shit.
It was a German concrete stain remover, and it was indeed available locally in that part of Spain.
Interesting.
Jordan said that the fact that it was used to remove stains below the surface of concrete, that was why you couldn't scrub it out or sand it out. The image was below the surface, and it was impervious to being wiped away by surface cleaning for this reason.
Like a tattoo.
Is that tattoos are below? Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. So but that would also explain why they disappeared and changed over time. As the chemicals were interacting with the material of the cement, and that's he couldn't say exactly the method that they did it, but he felt pretty sure that that's what the answer was. Chemical analysis done in the early 1990s indicated the presence of lead.
Ooh,
at the time, most paints in Spain had lead in them.
Yeah.
The Spanish Institute of Ceramics and Glass, ICV, as you know, did extensive tests on the samples of two of the faces, also in 1990, and they did not find any clear traces of paint or pigmentation. So they did not see any kind of painting there. It's not clear, though, what part of the faces they tested or even which faces were tested, because they weren't very, not forthcoming, it's not the right word, but they weren't very clear in their write-up of it, and they didn't even say which tests they had performed. Specifically, we did this, and this. So it was, a lot of people are underwhelmed by that analysis. But still, it was a scientific analysis, and it found no evidence of pigmentation or dyes. A 2014 analysis commissioned by an investigative TV show also found no trace of paint on the samples that they took to a lab, and that lab that performed that analysis declared, quote, absolute bewilderment at how the faces could have been formed.
Okay.
I don't know what show that was. If it was on it doesn't even say what country it's from, but it's probably Spanish. If it was the Spanish version of anything on the aforementioned History Channel, then we could take it with all the salt in the world. So again, though, the supernatural literature just kind of makes these blanket claims that there was never any obvious hoax, nothing was ever found, no dye or pigment was ever found, so therefore the faces must be supernatural. But again, Jordan's early analysis indicated, at least to his satisfaction, that it was a chemical cause, not paint. So in other words, they focused, hey, no one painted these. Well, if it was chemical, you wouldn't find pigments and dyes.
Yeah.
But the upshot is that proponents of the Belmez faces can legitimately say, hey, look, legit scientific analyses have not found any paint, therefore it's not a hoax.
Yeah.
So what were they? What were these faces? Again, some skeptics do say that they were just painted on. They don't know the method, but they're just painted, and the test just simply didn't find those. A different researcher than Jordan from the Parapsychology Institute there in Spain, named Ramos Pereira, he claimed that he actually had seen pigment in the first face that he analyzed, and he could even see bristle marks from the brush. So some people think maybe the first image or two or three were painted, but then they switched to a chemical analysis later.
They found a way.
Yeah. But then again, others have argued, many have argued for the supernatural causes. Oddly, as you went to first, you do not hear much about spiritual causes of this. You really don't ever hear that. You think go right for
that would be
one of those
my first
women
thoughts.
is the Virgin Mary, and one of those dudes was Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm baffled that that's not the case.
Usually, for real, people see a dark spot in the middle of their fucking grilled cheese sandwich, and they think it's the fucking Holy Ghost.
And someone pays $7,000 on eBay for it.
Yeah.
That's why we need to paint some Jesus on Doritos.
We really do. Using shoe polish.
Yes, I am 100% not kidding. Let's do that. So,
yes.
Oddly, but like I said, you don't read about this in the
That's weird.
In the psychic literature. What you hear time and again as the likely cause is thoughtography. That's literally making images appear on some medium through the power of thought.
Interesting. Interesting.
I wish I could do that. That would make painting and like
It would make
art
it-
so much easier.
I'm done.
Seriously.
So, I mean, then could Maria channel her thoughts into images on the kitchen floor? Could those images, and by the way, did she do this without realizing she
Yeah.
was doing it because she said she was terrified of it, etc.?
Yeah.
Images that could not be excised by any kind of cleaning or scrubbing and that kept returning and changing and evolving, and images that came back for decades. That you would, and so she's doing this thoughtography frequently and for a very, very long time, never realizing she's doing it. But remember who's making these kinds of arguments.
Yeah.
It's people like Hans Bender, the parapsychologist, who said he thought that because the first face changed a little bit while it was sealed off, therefore it had to be paranormal.
Yeah.
That's the level of gullibility. There's also this English paranormal writer named Andrew Carr Mackenzie. He went to Spain, he poked around for a little bit, despite speaking no English. He used his taxi driver as kind of an ad hoc translator and investigated, quote unquote. And then he went back to England and wrote a book on it, and on how it was a real, psychic
Yeah.
phenomenon.
You mean he spoke no Spanish?
That's what I said? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If he spoke English, that'd be a problem if he was English.
Yeah, I was like that. That's why I was confused. I was like, wow.
No, he spoke no
English as a
Spanish,
British
so
man?
he would like have the taxi drive over to the Pereira house
Oh,
and like, hey, can you come in and
What if the taxi driver didn't speak English?
I guess he did. Lucky
Ay,
for
ay, ay.
lucky for Mackenzie,
Better
he
pay
found
him
a taxi
extra.
driver who was willing to do a little light translating for him.
I would have totally
So-
fucked him over.
Yeah.
Said, hey, this guy just wants some rotisserie chicken. Where can we go find some Vons? What?
Yes. No, you're thinking of Costco. $4.99. Come on. So we will have to look into the photography phenomenon someday.
Yeah.
later, 'cause
I
Yeah.
never heard of that.
I've heard of it. There's a famous person named Ted Sirios who used to do this in the 60s and 70s, a Russian guy. We'll have to talk about that. Yuri Geller also. I didn't know this.
yeah.
Yuri Geller turned to photography in the mid-90s when he got tired of bending spoons.
Ah.
So it definitely has a pedigree of
I didn't know
some,
that.
some top talent have been into photography.
Photography.
In the end, the Belmez faces were most likely, my guess is they were chemical.
I would agree with that.
It would explain kind of everything.
Yeah.
It also explained the no apparent traces of paint and dyes and pigments in at least some of the analyses.
Yeah.
And I guess various acids can leave behind discoloration.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's also some things where maybe it was light sensitive. You can use some light sensitive chemicals, and that would explain why they
Ooh.
appeared over time and
Yeah.
grew
And
over time.
changed and stuff. That's
Yeah,
cool.
you could use like silver nitrate, and it darkens when it's exposed to ultraviolet light. So the
Yeah.
morning comes, you open the windows, and it takes a more clear shape. Presumably whoever did this though would still have to paint those things, and I'm not sure how they did that, but
Yeah.
that would explain the blotchiness, the fuzziness, the blurriness, the not great art of
Yeah.
it. And I that first face that we'll show you, I'm pretty sure the first face is the face with the deep furrows along
that
the
one.
sides of the mouth. That's one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
Some of the later ones are a little more distinct, a little more clear. They show more of the body. It's like the psychic phenomenon is getting
Honestly,
better at it
yeah.
over time.
Yeah, there is one when I was looking at the pictures earlier. Yeah, I saw the one with the furrows. That one kind of looks like an owl. It looks like a kindergarten drawing.
I'm almost positive that's the first one.
And then there's one that like looks almost like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like it's got almost pretty delineated
Yeah.
lines and like.
And some
What?
were very, like I said, some were extremely faded and
Yeah.
unclear at the beginning, which means, it didn't quite come out as well. But let's be fair. You could also, the photography wasn't as powerful for that one that made the monkey face.
She was
Yeah.
distracted.
Yeah,
Yep.
who knows? Whatever, a skeptic can claim it was done chemically or was done inexpertly chemically. You can make the same claim for
Yeah.
done psychically.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and again, Jordan thought it was chemical. He was pretty clear-headed about it. He thought it was a combination of an acid and this chemical treatment, and which again would explain the inability to find paint
Yeah.
or pigments.
Yeah.
Occam's
common
razor.
thing.
Speaking of Occam's razor, it says that if the choice is between some natural process we don't completely understand and photography,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then obviously we choose photography.
Most
Clear.
likely.
I got you there.
Most likely.
And also to be clear, if it was anything like, chemicals or paints or acids or something like that, then it was a malice aforethought hoax. It was a scam.
Yes.
And the fact that they then quickly charge you money, made a lot of money, tells you it was
Yeah.
a scam.
Yeah.
Which again, the mayor at the time flat out said, this is a fraud and a scam, not just a hoax to have fun. They're doing this to
Yeah.
make money.
Sorry, Mary, I'm on your side now.
Yeah.
It's the balloon boy of the Belmez.
We should call it that. A new wave of faces that came in after 2004, after Maria died.
Oh.
Okay.
The faces lasted her entire life.
Ah.
They kept coming. It wore down as a phenomenon, but they were still being generated now
She
and
got
again.
old.
Yeah.
She did.
Be
She's
on her-
85 when she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't
Oh,
be on there.
wow.
So who lived in the house after she died?
You know, I'm not sure. It doesn't say the thing. The couple of sources I read that said there were faces that came after didn't say who lived there.
Yeah.
But typically, that phenomenon, that post Maria's death phenomena, is looked on as obvious fraud done by
Even within the...
at this point done with the malice of the town council
Oh,
that were looking to
what?
maintain it as a tourist destination.
Oh, okay.
This guy, this journalist, the Spanish journalist, wrote a book in 2007
makes
saying that exactly
Yeah.
that. This is just a ham-handed, pathetic little attempt. And as of right now, it's not really a thing anymore. So which tells you he was probably right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If the faces did continue after Maria died, but Maria was the person doing the photography, then we've got a problem.
Yeah.
Parapsychology,
Yeah.
which is par for the course for these kinds of tales. You know,
Well, it could
logic
just
is not
be-
ever their strong suit. In this case, I mean, so what do you think? Shots in the dark.
Skellies in the ground.
Photography skeletons in the ground. So,
Yeah.
so okay, that's the thing. If there were skeletons in the ground and it's something like that, then you don't need the photography. If it was photography, you don't need skeletons in the ground.
Right.
They have nothing to do with
Yeah.
one another. You've got too many answers here.
Yeah.
It's over answered, but there's a word for that. I can't think of it right now. In statistics.
Throw them all in, and hopefully one will stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Kitchen sink it.
like I said earlier, I don't know that the skeleton in the ground thing ever even really happened.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because if so, and they dated them, we would have those results like we do
Yes,
the
you think
other
we would.
tests.
Yes, that's true. And
But we don't-
I don't know this for a fact, but carbon 14 dating, I don't think that's cheap.
No,
So-
and it's not easy either.
You're gonna date these skeletons and find out they're 700 years old, and then I mean, come on. And,
And
you're
it's
gonna
also
dig
not
10 feet
perfect.
over. I know you weren't wowed by that. I was like, okay, we're done.
That's
here.
a lot of digging.
That's a giant amount of just the kitchen too.
Well, mom's
Yeah.
a
That's
landscaper.
crazy. Have you ever done 10 feet?
Well, what do you think?
Have you ever done
course
dug?
She's
not.
dug 6 feet for a grave.
Oh, that's dark. It's my grave. She's got it ready just in case.
I mean, we got a planter out there that you'd fit in.
Is that your plan?
Planter.
Is that your plan?
Is that your planter?
Am I going to be
No.
fertilizer? Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
compost,
I'm going to
yeah.
have my own little body farm out there. I'm going to conduct
Okay.
experiments
All right.
on
God.
you.
I've already been clear. You're the one who wants to be in a body farm. I want to be cremated and thrown wherever.
Can I
We'll
be a
see-
tree?
See what
I'll
happens
be a tree.
to a dead body when
No.
when it's in the cat's
We're-
planter.
We're not doing that with me. We're not doing that.
I want
No.
alkaline hydrolysis.
No, I'm not doing that. Okay, so yes, you said yes, skeletons.
Skellies.
Kara, you said
Radioactive Yeti.
could be a radioactive yeti.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
fair.
think so.
You don't think that? Okay,
No.
but it's one of the
Do
possibilities.
you think it's just chemicals?
I think it's just. I mean,
Acid etching?
everybody go look at your driveway. Look at all the shit stuff that happens on our driveways.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Patterson Gimlin film of Bigfoot rather, that is like, yeah, it's probably a hoax, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
I think she did
It's
a good
well
job.
executed.
Maria did. I'm not sure how. I'm not an expert, but how she figured out some way to use chemicals that would leach in
Yeah.
beneath the surface
Yeah.
and actually depict many pretty darn good distinct images. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Probably an accident too.
Probably-
Maybe
I wouldn't
that
be surprised,
first
yeah.
blotch
Yeah.
was like an accident, and then
looked
it
kind
sort
of
of
facey.
morphed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
eated away. It eated the concrete. in
And
a
it
way.
looked like a face, and it didn't go away for a while. And she
Yeah.
goes, "Hey,
I have
got
an
an idea." And
idea.
she was a psychic fortune teller.
How
type,
old was
so,
she when this started?
Well, 30. You
85
said it went on
minus-
for 30 years.
Wait, 2004. She was 85, so 1971.
Well, what's
she
85
was-
minus 50? Around 55.
Yeah,
85 minus 30, baby.
30. He mentioned. Yeah, in her 50s.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't.
About
young.
y'all age. Wait, is that too doxing you? Is that
Well,
too much detail? For
that's
the
way too
internet?
much detail. And also, by the way, it's
No,
because
somebody thought we were millennials.
Really?
Which-
Oh Lord, what a compliment.
I don't mind. I'm not going to.
You guys are plant moms.
Yeah.
You guys love Harry Potter.
So
You guys love your coffee.
I don't.
Girl
I
boss.
don't drink coffee at all. What are you talking about?
I'm millennial shaming.
I went
I
through
do
my
like IPA,
Dalgona
though.
phase.
Pardon?
I went through my Dalgona phase.
I don't know
at
what that
the
means.
beginning of
Coffee.
Oh, okay.
COVID-19.
Funny lady.
Some people say that the son did it, not the mom.
Oh.
Because he was, I don't know, in his 20s or something
Well-
like that. But no, the mom, that's not true.
Yeah.
If someone did it, it was Maria.
Maybe it was the son doing it, screwing with the mom.
That's what I was
'Cause-
thinking too. And I think that's almost the implication.
Yeah.
She's like,
That's
looks at it
an
and says,
evil
Dios
son.
míos. She crosses herself
Yeah.
and freaks out.
And tries to scrub it off.
Yeah,
and-
I know. And he's like snickering.
I'm going
and
with
then,
that one.
And then they're making a shit ton of money. He's going, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then he tells his mom says, let's keep doing
Why
it.
did he hate his mom so much?
No, he's just messing with
Just
her.
messing with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when Aaron hid under the desk.
Oh my
and-
God.
And had Emma say, I don't know where
I
it
don't know
is.
where she is.
Yeah, that was funny.
Or when my brother and I, after
Oh, God.
with my
Trilogy
mom,
of
when we
Terror.
watched Trilogy of Terror, with the little
Mm-hmm.
monster does the knife, and my brother got a big butcher's knife and just started. My mom went to the bathroom, something like that, and she came back, and he's in the kitchen with a butcher's knife, doing that squat, grinning, clicking the knife onto the tile. She shit her pants. I kid you not. It was horrifically mean and vicious, but also hilarious.
Yeah. Sometimes I worry about people pranking their parents. They're just going to give them heart attacks.
Yeah.
I still remember her face. Oh, she was wide-eyed.
Hey, that's what happened to me
horror-stricken.
when I saw Emma in her goddamn
Yes.
Zoe from Roly
Yeah,
Poly
her
costume.
Zoe insect costume.
It was real dark.
It was real dark, and,
And she was
she's-
coming up the stairs and
Yeah.
I was going down and I just didn't know what was happening.
he screamed and ran up the stairs in abject
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah. You would too.
I did.
If I saw them Belmez faces, I probably would. Nah, probably not.
I wanted.
No.
I kind of want to go see him.
They're still. Wait, what?
I don't know. I guess they're not, but still.
Well, you can see them on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
There's an article in Atlas Obscura, so maybe the house is still there. I think I don't know, but I don't know if there people are allowed in for like admission to go view
Yeah.
anything. I don't think that's happening anymore. Oh well, it's too bad. That is the story of the Belmez faces. We hope you enjoyed that.
Say it correctly one time.
Belmez. I did the Google thing.
Belmez faces.
Belmez. I don't know. Belmez caras.
That's fine.
Thank you. So, I hope you enjoyed it, Carrie. Tell them the stuffs.
Oh my Lord. Weird World Podcast at gmail.com and on Facebook and Instagram and Patreon.
Right on. Thank you for listening.
Completely dropped Twitter from the equation.
Should have dropped Facebook. We're on there still spreading misinformation.
That's true. Let's go to Facebook.
Anyway, let's just goodbye.
Okay. See you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Is that a dog?
No, it's not.